If we were smart, we should have just bought a new tank. This thing was botched, totally botched. Terrible. This tank's really bad for a couple of reasons. Number one, we got dents on both sides. One on this side and one on this side knee, right on the body line as well. That is going to be a pain in the butt to take out. And also, the inside of the tank is rusty as hell. I think this was stored for multiple years with half a tank of fuel, because the top half of the tank that you can't really see when you look in there, is just covered in rust. I bust out my endoscope to look inside, and sure enough, we got 2 dents and a rusty tank to address. And that's what we're going to do in this video. First thing we're going to look at are the dents. First thing I did, bust out the DA, get the paint off there, get it down to bare metal so we can see what we got and we can start working it. Quick tip with the DA here, don't take off any more metal than you have to. These motorcycle tanks are already super thin, as we're about to find out. So once you get through the paint, stop right there and leave as much metal as you can. So you guys saw how simple the setup is for this thing. Really just slides right over the nozzle, a couple Allen keys. Once you have everything lined up, you want the wire to be right where the stud is, that bulb end on the stud. You want those two to line up so that once you pull the trigger on this thing, it locks the two together. Nice secure weld to hold that down so it doesn't fall right off as soon as you hit it with the hammer. Other than that, good to go. So let me gear up, let's weld some of these on, and get to pulling. So I started with the easy side of the tank, that dent that's just on the flat piece of metal in the knee dent there, sort of. That was really easy, but I figured I'd do that first since it would give me a feel for the welder settings, how the metal's reacting when I pull it out with the slide hammer a little bit, how hard to pull. I figured start there, get a feel, and then move on to the tough side. Now this first side was super easy. I think it was only like 4 or 5 studs and a couple pulls with the slide hammer before this was ready for a skim coat of filler, but now it's on to the hard side. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I'm sure it looks worse on camera, but running your hand over a dent and looking at it are two totally different things. And we're talking very, very minimal skim coat of filler to get that perfectly flat. Very happy with it. Did have a few little high spots, and for that, the body hammer with one of these burnishers works really well. This will sort of focus your energy, and they're a little bit softer. That works really well for tapping down the high spots. Really common in PDR, but they work just as well for this too. So, pleased with where that's at for now. Time to get to the really big dent over here on the other side. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, that's a big one, right across the body line too. Gonna apply the same methods for that, get it as close as I can, and we'll work with it, go back and forth a little bit, try to get it as close as I can, and hopefully it turns out just as nice. Let's get to it. Now, something I forgot to mention, before you start welding around a gas tank, you want to make sure all the gas is out of the tank. Give it a good rinse with water. We're going to be sealing the tank later on, so not a big worry for us. But there's 2 reasons you want to fill with water. Number 1, it's going to make sure you don't ignite any leftover gas that's in the tank. And number 2, it puts a little bit of weight in the tank, so when you're working with the slide hammer, the tank's just not sliding around the table on you. A little bit of weight to pull against. So working on the dent on this side, like I said, this is a little bit worse of a situation over here. It's a dent on a body line. Now, as I was pulling this thing out, since this is on a body line, I think the metal there is just a little bit thinner. And what I did when I was pulling was open up a tiny little pinhole. You can see it is damp right underneath my weld, and there's just a tiny little bit of water dripping out from the bottom of that thing. No big deal. But we don't want that to be gas later on when the tank is full of gas, obviously. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to weld that shut, and I'm going to follow up with the tank sealer kit on this thing, and that will give us double layer of protection there. So we'll be good to go. That tank sealer kit can seal up to a 16th inch hole, and this will be no worry once this thing is filled with gas. So I'm going to grind that down, fill it with a little weld, and keep working on this dent. So I'm not going to bore you guys with all this. Like I said, this is weld on a stud in a low, pull it, repeat for wherever you have lows. You just keep going. You know, as I did this, you start to get a feel for it. When you cut off the studs, grind them down, you feel it over with your hands, feel where that low is. You pop another stud in there, you pull out that low, do it again, feel it, try to find the next low, and you just keep doing that over and over again until you have something that's relatively presentable, and then you can fill it with the body filler later on. So those dents are pretty close, very, very small as it sits right now. A little bit of a dent on both sides, but reason being, I had to stop because the metal there is just so thin that as I was slide hammering my studs to get those dents out, I was opening up tiny little pinholes. Water was peeing out of those holes in the tank all over me. No big deal though, got them welded shut and it's not leaking as is. Now we're gonna have double insurance with those holes because of what we're gonna do next. You guys have probably noticed the stuff on the table here in front of me. This is the tank sealer kit that we offer right over here. It comes with tank sealer, fast etch, and metal wash. You have to pick up all this stuff at the local hardware store, but no big deal. Very common materials to do this. And what it does is when you roll it around inside the tank, it's gonna eat off all the rust that's in there, and it's going to seal it and create a fuel bladder in there for our fuel that isn't going to leak out, and in theory, not even gonna touch this metal. So a good thing to do if you do have an old gas tank like this one, and it could seal up to a 16th inch wide hole. So double insurance there, and I'm pretty confident that this tank isn't gonna leak once we do the sealer and the welds, and then fill over them. We should be all good to go. I have a whole detailed video on how to do this kit, but I'm gonna summarize it for you guys here as quickly as I can. First thing you wanna do, take that tub of metal wash that comes with the kit, dump it in 2 gallons of hot water, run it into the tank, and then you wanna slosh it around really good, make sure everything gets mixed up, and then you let it sit on each side of the tank for 5 to 10 minutes, then drain it out, dump it down the drain, and then rinse the tank out with some fresh water. Next step is going to be with our muriatic acid. Now you want to do this in a 20-to-1 solution, and I'm going to make a half gallon of this stuff, so that's 3 ounces of muriatic acid in the 60 ounces of water. Do not put concentrated muriatic acid in your tank. That's not going to work out well for you. The solution is going to work just fine for you. Now, once you have that inside your tank, you want to give it a good slash, 5 to 10 minutes. Quick word of caution. You want to open up your fuel filler neck just to vent any pressure buildup from that acid. And I've also seen guys throw some mechanical ways to remove rust into their tank just to get rid of the big flaky stuff, nuts and bolts. I didn't do that, but it's a good way to knock off any rust that's hanging out on the side of your tank. Once you're done with that, you can dump that into a bucket, and then we are going to neutralize it. And how you do that is you basically dump baking soda into the acid until it stops fizzing. Do that. Mix it around a little bit. Try to not spill this stuff. Big rubber gloves up to the elbow. Safety glasses like chemistry class in high school. Both of those are very important. Now, once you're done with this stuff, you do have to get rid of it, and I don't have an answer for you guys here. Everywhere is a little bit different. Depends on your local regulation. Check in with that, and then you can legally get rid of this stuff. Back to the tank. You want to rinse it out with a really good flush of water, at least 2 of them to make sure all that acid is out of there. Then you want to let that dry out. Don't worry about any rust right now because the next step is we're going to throw in a whole bottle of fast etch, and this stuff works awesome. Here's a picture of the endoscope of the inside of the tank, and you can see there is no rust in there whatsoever. I was thrilled with how well this stuff works. Once you're done with that, you can dump all the fast etch back into the bottle for use later on. Next step here, we're going to break out the acetone, and you want to throw the acetone in there while the fast etch is still wet on the inside of the tank. Throw a quart in there, do a slosh, dump it out, throw another quart in there, do a slosh, and then dump it out. Now, up to now, this has all been prep work, and that really is the majority of this product. The easy part is actually the sealer, because you want to shake this good, make sure it's all mixed together, and then dump the whole bottle in your tank. Now, this stuff is a little bit gummy, likes to sit on the walls of the tank, so what you do is give that a full rotate, make sure you coat the whole inside of the tank. Then, like we did in the beginning, you want to let it sit on one side of the tank for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then you want to roll it all again, make sure everything gets coated again, let it sit on a different side of the tank for 8 to 10 minutes, roll it all again, and you just do that until all the sides are covered. That's it for gas tank sealer. Just got to wait for it to dry. You'll know, reach your hand in there, it'll feel a little bit rubbery. Once you feel that, good to go. But it's going to be a long time before we throw any gasoline in this tank because we have a lot of work to do. In the next episode, we are going to be working on body filling this tank, getting it perfectly smooth, getting that knee dent shape perfectly nailed in, and we're going to strip all the paint off this stuff and get it ready for a repaint. So that is going to be super exciting, and we are getting dangerously close to putting this thing back together. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you saw something you like, let me know. If you saw something you didn't like, let me know because that's how YouTube works. And if you saw a tool in this video that you liked, we'll have it linked down below, so be sure to check that out. As always, thanks for watching. I'm JD. Make sure you keep it right here at Eastwood to do the job right.